Hi everyone, I'm going to be doing a voiceover for this portion. So as you can tell, I have these 3 sticky notes right here at the top of my screen that have to do with the reminders. So I have already pre-filled that one out. I just like to put things that are upcoming on it. Then I have the to-do list. That's just consisting of what I have to do for that week. Just assignments, tests, pretty much just putting what I have in my planner on that for an overview again. And then the last sticky note I have is just extra stuff that I have in my schedule. This week I had me and my boyfriend's 2.5-year date. So I just put that down there. So over here I have my folders for this semester. I'm going to open up my anatomy one so that you can see how I save my PowerPoints for notes. So this contains chapters 16 through 17, which were for exam 1, and I'm going to walk you through how I do that. So I'm going to open up Chrome, which is what we use for our school. Whoops. And then I'm going to open up my Anatomy 102 folder. And then I'm going to hit Modules. And then she makes us scroll all the way to the bottom just to find our PowerPoints, which isn't really that fun. But for this sake, I kind of just went and checked to see what exam had what chapters. And then I also saved our study guides in the folders too. So I just download that. And then you just open it up. For some reason, I had to open this one up in Finder, like if you're a Mac user, but it just wasn't opening, so I kind of had to mess around with it for a couple of times. And then I just saved it to wherever I wanted to, and then this one I wanted to save to my anatomy one, and then for exam 1. Now I'm going to go back to modules, and then I'm going to scroll and see what chapters are for exam 2. And then I see that's chapters 18 through 20. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to make an exam 2 folder. Now, I'm just a stickler, but I kind of like to put them as close together as I can and kind of in line with each other. And I'm just going to fill out all folders through chapter 5. Well, exam 5. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to download all the chapters that were for chapter 2. And then here, when it showed all, I had to open them in Finder, and then I just downloaded them all from there, and then they just popped up. So, and then you just go through the same process of saving each one and selecting the folder that you want them under. And of course, I chose Anatomy 2 or Anatomy 101 and Exam 2. And now I'm just going to show you what I did for the rest of them. You kind of just keep going through that process and then you just end up getting them all done. So yeah. So back in Canvas, I'm going to go to my dashboard where all my classes are. And a fun way you can be creative is by changing the card overview color, I guess. And by doing that, you have to go to a website or look up hex colors with codes. I tend to look at color palettes, and I so happen to go with a brighter one this semester, and as you can see, I am just going to click on the little three dots, go and see what the code is for that hex color, and I'm using that teal color. And then you have to go back to your dashboard and type in that code at the bottom and then hit apply, and then it changes. I only learned this last year, and I think it is an amazing way to just add a little bit of color to your actual dashboard and make it more personalized or like more yours. So now I'm going to open up Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to make a label for my anatomy binder. I also did this for a couple of notebooks, so you just insert a text box and type whatever your class name is or whatever you want to put as your label. I wanted a specific font, so I went on the search for that. And then you select that font when you find it. Mine was pretty hard to find because I had a certain name I had to look up, and then I think I forgot the name of it. So now once you find it, I have to do a little bit of measuring. So you just kind of enlarge it to whatever size you need. Labels are pretty easy to make for the Cricut because you're just using vinyl. But yeah, just size that to whatever you need it. I think mine was about 5 inches high and 8 inches long, if I remember. Yeah, so pretty big. But then again, it's going on about a 2-inch binder. And then make sure to weld that together, or else your Cricut won't cut it fully in one piece. And then click make it. Now mine was on smart vinyl, so that's why I chose without a mat. And then make sure it lines up on your material. And then I chose smart vinyl permanent because that's what it was. Now I just fed my material into my Cricut, and right here it was reading to make sure that I had enough material, and then it started cutting, and then it was done. And then I just took the material out, and then you click finish. So in this clip, I'm just going to be showing you kind of the process that I was talking about in the last clip, but just walking you through, showing you what it is like in this form, because I know some people aren't learners in the aspect of seeing it done just on a computer. I know I'm totally like that. So here's me turning on my Cricut, and it does its little slide across just to calibrate it. So as you can see here, I'm getting my vinyl all prepped. I am unrolling it. It was a fresh roll, so it was a little stiff, but I am just inserting it under the two white like framing tools, and then just inserting it and making sure it goes through evenly, because sometimes I have a struggle with that, and then I just let the Cricut do its thing. And here you see me taking out my vinyl, and my design is fully complete. And then I just take some scissors and I cut that portion out. And then my favorite part is next, which is the weeding. At the time, I did not have a weeding tool, so I kind of have to use, back then I used actually the like X-Acto knife tool, but that's pretty much all I had. But sometimes you gotta work with what you got. So now I just took that X-Acto knife and kind of poked a hole in the top, and then I just pulled the extra vinyl away, which is the most satisfying part. Everyone knows that. Anything that is pulling back a shape or leaves something behind is just super satisfying. I tried to show you guys, but some of it kind of messed up, I think, in the middle. Yeah, see, that happens a lot in the Cricut world when you're trying to mess with vinyl, is just getting everything pulled apart in one piece and left together. When I tried to put the design on my binder, you'll see that it did cause me a lot of trouble, and I had to kind of piece it together, but it still turned out great, and I like it. So as long as you like it and you're fine with it, then I don't think there's a big deal, because nothing in this world is perfect. So a little sideways in or two might be okay here and there. And now I'm just measuring some transfer tape, and then I'm going to cut that out to make sure that it overlays over my vinyl design. Now this is what is going to lift the extra vinyl that we left on the backing, and it's going to pull that up, and basically, like the name implies, we're going to transfer it to whatever we want to. Now, here was the worst part, and as you can tell, I fast forwarded through most of it. It was just really painful to get all these off. I had to end up cutting a lot and end up trying to piece together to make it look halfway decent. So, but pretty much all you do is that's called burnishing, which is just scraping over it a million times to make it warm and sticky, and then you just peel back that transfer tape, and then it should leave the design on whatever you're putting it on, but sometimes it gets a mind of its own and doesn't want to do that. But in the end, I finally got it, and I will show you the end result here soon. So right here, I'm just planning out my week. I open my planner to whatever day or week I need to be planning, and I just look at my canvas to see what assignments I have. Most of my assignments are on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays because those are the days that I have classes, and then the weekends are reserved for family time and then also studying if I may have that. Since this was the first week of school, I only started on a Wednesday, so I didn't have a lot of stuff compared to what I do now, so that's why there isn't a lot of writing. But this is a really good way that I like to plan. It's just another checklist, another place I check for when I don't know what assignments are due. I do like to use the Canvas to-do list, but it definitely doesn't keep me on track as much as this does. So I highly recommend, if this is something you want to try, just try doing it for a few weeks. I've been planning like this since I've been in high school, so it all depends on your preferences, and you do you.